Hi, and thanks for logging on to the daily DVAR halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday, the 11th day of June, the 19th day of SIVAN. Today we're going to hit the question. Here is the question. Let's say you're hearing the repetition of the Shmona Esrei over the telephone or over a Zoom, something on a computer. And your main question is, can I answer Amen? You know, Amen is supposed to be specifically to a bracha that you're hearing, which you are hearing it over Zoom, but you're not really hearing it because you're hearing it through the reproduction of what our electricity and computers are doing. So, can I answer Amen? That's the bottom line question when I hear brachas being said over Zoom. So, we're going to go to the first to a Gemara and see what we could figure out from this Gemara. Let me enlarge it here and look at it. The Gemara here in Maseches Sukkah talks about it's very famous. Some of you may have heard of it. It was a very beautiful shul that was in Alexandria in Egypt, in Mitzrayim. This is a hard word here, but this is a big, beautiful shul, Shel Alexandria Shel Mitzrayim. And if you never saw that, the Gemara says, wow, you never saw such a beautiful shul. It describes the gorgeous architecture and all these giant pillars of gold and beautiful everythings. And it was holding like enormous amounts of people. I don't know if this is an exaggeration or not, but it says, Kiflayim Kiyotze Mitzrayim, twice as much as the 600,000 that left Egypt. So I do not know, but I just know that that's an enormous number, something that dwarfs anything that you and I have ever seen. I've seen a shul with, a couple thousand, but anyway, so this shul was very huge, and here's the part that we needed. The Chazan HaKnesses Omed Aleha, the Chazan of the shul must have a big boomy voice, no microphones. Vasudrin Biyado, and there were like pieces of material in his hands. Kivan she'yigia lanos amen, and when it was time to answer amen, hala menif besudar, the person would lift up those big pieces of material. V'chol ha'am onin amen, and everybody just answered amen. So right there, you see that there are people who are answering amen, and they're not really hearing the bracha, right? Because they're just seeing a piece of material far off in the distance, and they're answering amen. So if that is okay as an answer for amen, one would assume that answering on Zoom also would be okay. And now I'm going to show you how the Shulchan Aruch treats this. And here in Siman Kuf Chaf Daled 124, the Shulchan Aruch was discussing different kinds of amens. Not supposed to say an amen chatufa. That's where part of the word isn't said. You're not supposed to say an amen yisoma, an orphaned amen. And here, I wanted to hone in on this spot right here. Hagav v'yesh machmirin da'afilu eino mechuyev bosa bracha. There are some that are strict that say even if you're not really responsible for saying that bracha, you're not chayiv in that bracha. Lo yaneh amen. Watch these words. Im eino yodeya be'eza bracha koi. So this Rav Moshe Isserles here is saying, don't answer amen if you don't know what bracha they're saying. If you don't know what bracha the shliach tzibur is saying. And this is not just me talking. There are a lot of rabbis who analyzed this carefully and said, okay, so the Haggah, the Rav Moshe Isserles, is telling us to be strict and not answer amen if you don't know what bracha they're saying. Okay, so let me minimize here and get in front of you and explain. So this would mean that's when I don't know what bracha is being said. When I'm on a Zoom, I know exactly what bracha is being said. I'm hearing you know how Zoom is, I'm hearing the exact bracha that he's saying, Shomiyat Tefillah, amen. So the Ramah that we just looked at said that you shouldn't answer if you don't know what you're answering to. Diuk, that means but I could figure out from that if I know a bracha they're saying, I could answer amen. And on Zoom, I certainly know that. So a bunch of important poskim have deduced from this exact statement that you and I are deducing from that you are allowed to answer Amen on a Zoom. I think it was Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach who was the one who said no in Alexandria Shell, Egypt, in that big show that they had in Egypt. The people were all in one room. And then one can say, if I'm in the room with them and I know the bracha that they're saying, and I see the thing going up, and I know it's the what number of Shemon Esrei they're in, so I know I'm answering Amen to Shemaya Tefillah, then you could answer. But on Zoom, he said, you're not in the same room. It's a reproduction coming across electronic wires and the internet and everything. And he said that you should not answer Amen. So, the poskim of today have looked at all of this and said, and this was Rav Herschel Schachter who said, seeing as how there are opinions who are allowing an Amen over Zoom, this type of situation, and there are some that lean towards no, he felt that it would not be an Amen Yesoma, it would not be an orphaned Amen when you answer Amen to a Zoom, and therefore he paskined that it would be okay. Most of the people I'm hearing, and the rabbis I'm hearing this from, are generally allowing Amens over Zoom because of the reasoning that you've just heard. So, in conclusion, you may still want to ask your rabbi, but there are a good number of rabbis allowing people to answer Amen. You might not fulfill your commitment, like we said yesterday about your Havdalah or whatever, but it's permissible to say the Amen. That's what a lot of rabbis are concluding. You may want to speak to yours. Thanks for logging on, and log on again tomorrow for more.